Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to our magical channel. We're so happy you're here with us today for another amazing adventure. Thank you for your continued love and support. You've been incredible. We're on a special quest ourselves, reaching 500 subscribers before the end of the year. And we need your help to make it happen. So grab your bows and arrows, get comfy, and let's journey into today's magical tale together. The misty Scottish Highlands lay wrapped in early morning fog. The soft call of birdsong mixed with the rushing of rivers that cut through green valleys. The castle of Clan Dunbroch stood proudly, its stone walls strong against time. Inside, Princess Merida was awake long before her family, tugging on her boots and slinging her bow across her shoulder. Another day, another adventure, she whispered, grinning. Merida loved exploring the wild highlands more than anything else, while her mother, Queen Eleanor, hoped she would focus on duties and royal lessons. Merida felt her heart belonged among the whispering pines, roaring waterfalls, and hidden glens. This morning, however, something felt different. As she stepped outside, her three mischievous little brothers, Harris, Hubert, and Hamish, darted past her with wild laughter, chasing after a runaway chicken. Merida shook her head, amused, before the wind carried a strange sound toward her ears. It wasn't birdsong, it wasn't the river, it was music, faint, haunting, and beautiful, like a melody woven from starlight. Curiosity burned inside her. She followed the sound deep into the forest, the fog curling around her like a secret. Her horse, Angus, carried her carefully until they reached a glen Merida had never seen before. The glen shimmered with strange light. Flowers glowed in blues and purples, and will-o'-the-wisps floated like tiny lanterns, guiding her deeper. At the very center of the glen stood an ancient stone circle, older than any castle. From its heart came the music, a harp playing itself, strings moving with invisible fingers. Merida's heart raced. What magic is this? A wisp darted close, circling her head before zipping toward the harp. The message was clear: follow. But before Merida could step closer, a voice called from the mist. Princess of Dunbroch, it said, low and melodic, the Highlands are in danger. Will you listen? Merida froze. The harp's song stopped. A tall, cloaked figure appeared, holding a staff carved with symbols. The figure's face was hidden, but their presence was powerful, almost shimmering. What do you mean, danger? Merida asked, clutching her bow. The figure pointed toward the horizon. A shadow awakens, older than your clan. If not stopped, it will silence the Highlands forever. The key lies in the song of the Enchanted Glen. Only one with courage, heart, and spirit may uncover it. That is you. Merida's eyes widened. Me! But before she could ask more, the cloaked figure vanished into the mist. The harp stilled, and the wisps dimmed. The adventure had begun. Merida rode home, her mind swirling. A shadow that threatened the Highlands, a magical song that could save them. She had no choice but to find answers. She told Queen Eleanor and King Fergus over supper. Fergus laughed, thinking it a tale spun by mischievous spirits. But Eleanor grew serious. Legends speak of the Enchanted Glen, her mother said softly. It is said the land itself can sing, a melody that guards the balance of our world. If it falls silent, so too will the Highlands. Merida, if this is true. Merida stood tall. Then I'll find the song. I'll protect our home. Her brothers cheered, stuffing their mouths with bread. Fergus pounded the table. That's my lass. Just like her da, brave and bold. Eleanor sighed. but gave Merida a pendant shaped like a thistle. Take this. It will remind you of your family. Whatever magic awaits, never forget who you are. Merida smiled, hugging her mother tightly. Then she set off, Angus carrying her into the wild once more. Merida followed the wisps until she reached a river that glittered with silver light. Its waters sang with voices, echoing words from the past. When she tried to cross, the water rose into a towering figure made of liquid. To pass, it boomed, you must face your greatest fear. Merida's bow shook slightly. Her greatest fear wasn't monsters or storms. It was failing, letting her people down. I'm not afraid of ye, she cried, steadying her aim. But instead of firing, she took a deep breath. I'll face failure. I'll rise again, no matter what comes. The river figure bowed, sinking back into water. A bridge of stones rose across. Merida had passed the first trial. Next, Merida entered a dense forest. Every tree whispered her doubts. You're reckless, Merida. You'll never succeed. You should have stayed home. The voices swirled around her, louder and louder. Merida clenched her fists. I am who I am, brave, stubborn, and true. You'll not break me. She fired an arrow straight into the air. The sound echoed, drowning out the whispers. Light burst through the trees, guiding her onward. Trial 3, the Mountain of Echoing Stones. Her final trial took her up a steep mountain. At the top stood a massive stone door carved with runes. An inscription glowed. Only harmony unlocks the song. Confused, Merida strummed the strings of her bow like a harp. Nothing happened. She stomped, clapped, whistled, but the door stayed shut. Finally, she remembered her mother's pendant. She pressed it against the door and sang softly. A lullaby Eleanor had sung to her as a child. The stones trembled. The door opened. Inside lay the heart of the Enchanted Glen. Within the chamber stood the magical harp, glowing brighter than before. Merida approached, but the ground shook violently. Out of the shadows rose a monstrous figure, dark as smoke, with burning red eyes. The Highlands will be mine, it roared. The song shall be silenced. Merida's arrows passed through the shadow like mist. It laughed cruelly. Ye cannot fight darkness with weapons. Merida thought hard. The harp, the song, that was the answer. She ran to the harp and plucked the strings. A note rang out, bright and pure, pushing the shadow back slightly, but the monster surged forward again. Merida remembered. Harmony. Not just music, but family. Love. Courage. She sang the lullaby again, her voice trembling but strong. Wisps appeared, joining in. The harp glowed brighter. Then, to her amazement, her family's voices echoed through the chamber, as though the Highlands themselves sang with her. The shadows shrieked, dissolving into mist, until only silence remained. Then, the harp played on its own, weaving a melody so beautiful, Merida's heart ached. The song of the Enchanted Glen had returned. Merida rode home to Dunbroch, the Highlands alive with birdsong and rushing rivers once more. The mist lifted, revealing sunlight that seemed brighter than ever. Her people cheered, but Merida knew the truth. She hadn't saved the Highlands alone. It was her courage, yes, but also her family, her love, her heart. Queen Eleanor hugged her tightly. You've proven what true bravery is, Merida. Not just fighting shadows, but knowing harmony lies within. Merida grinned. Aye, but I'll still keep my bow close, just in case. The castle echoed with laughter as peace returned. The melody of the Enchanted Glen lived on, whispering through the wind, reminding Merida that no matter how far she roamed, she was never truly alone. And that, dear friends, was the magical story of Merida and the Song of the Enchanted Glen. We hope you loved this adventure as much as we loved sharing it with you. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss future videos. And here's a fun challenge. If this video gets 20 likes, Merida will return for another thrilling sequel adventure.